Hey, it's Craig back with another Mortgage Minute. And today we're going to talk about return on investment. I know that sounds exciting, right? Well, let me tell you why I think it is important to at least understand the return on investment with real estate. Um, Over the past few months, I have heard about 1,000 times from people that real estate's too expensive, prices are too high. I get it. I totally understand the pain that home buyers are feeling right now with interest rates having gone up, and so you've got mortgage payments being higher. Home prices have certainly continued to rise um, over the past couple of years. So yeah, let's start the conversation by saying, yeah, you know what, home prices are up, but here's where you can use that to your advantage in the long run if you understand the return on investment of owning real estate. Okay, so what we're going to look at here is we're going to look at over a 5 year period what the appreciation looks like on owning a piece of real estate and understand the true return on investment. Okay. So I'm going to real quick, just so everybody understands that I'm not trying to throw out extremely unrealistic numbers. We are using appreciation of 3.36%. Okay. So what I mean by that is these numbers assume that the property is going to appreciate by 3.36% per year. Okay. Now, why is that important to understand that going into this conversation? Well, because that's way less than what property's been appreciating over the past few years. And quite honestly, that is less than what the expectation is going to be over the next few years. So I really feel like this look that we're taking right now is extremely conservative. And the reason I'm doing that is if it makes sense at 3.36%, then of course it's going to make sense if, I don't know, properties are appreciating at 10% or maybe 12%, or based on what's going on right now, 15 or 20%. Okay. So, with that said, uh, let's take a look at the numbers. And so, let's assume that you purchased a $400,000 house and you're looking at appreciation rate again of 3.36%, extremely low estimate to use. After the first year, the home value would be 413, 447. The second year, 427, 346, and so on. You can see till we get out to at the end of 5 years, the home would be worth $471,911. Okay. Now, look, for some of you, you would look at that and go, hey, what's the big deal? You bought a house and now it's worth more down the road. Well, let's think of it like this. If you were to put money into some other type of investment, you would want some type of a return. Okay. And so here's how you calculate return on investment with real estate. What you have to look at is you have to look at what your down payment is. That's your investment. Okay. And in this case, I think it's fair to also throw in closing costs. So we're going to estimate closing costs to be $8,000. We're going to estimate your down payment for that particular house to be 400,000. Excuse me, to be 20,000 because we're estimating 5% on a $400,000 sales price. Now, look, you can put more down. Okay. But this is just kind of taking an average and saying, okay, if you only put 5% down and you had $8,000 in closing cost, what is your appreciation after you take that into consideration? Well, what you're looking at is a cumulative appreciation after closing costs. So we're basically backing out the $8,000 into these numbers. And at the end of 5 years, the appreciation after we account for the fact that we paid $8,000 in fees on the front end of $63,911. Okay. That's your appreciation. And you might go, yeah, what's the big deal? $63,000, not a big deal. Well, you know what? It is a big deal because I would love for you to tell me the next investment you can come across that you can take $20,000 and in 5 years turn it into $63,911. That's a pretty good return. So after the first year, return on investment is 27%. Second year, 96%, all the way up to 319%. But let's just look at 27%. After the first year, 27% return. Overall return on investment over that time period okay, you're looking at a 72% return on investment. That's pretty darn good, in my opinion. So when we say real estate is a good investment, we're not just throwing around words. We're not just, using a sales tactic. You need to understand that if you are choosing to rent when you could be buying a home right now, you are literally choosing a bad investment. Now, understand something. You actually are choosing an investment, just so you know. When you choose to rent over a 5-year period, you are 100% choosing an investment. And here's your choice. You are basically going to your landlord and saying, hey, I'm about to make you some money, okay? Because I'm going to rent your house and help you cover the expenses over the next 5 years. And you're going to reap, on average, 27% return on your investment, okay? Now, understand something. If you're good with that, that's great. But you need to understand that at the end of 5 years, your landlord is not going to stroke you a $63,000 check. They are going to rent it out to someone else. Okay. So if you're choosing to do that, that's a choice you're making to build wealth for someone else. Don't make that choice. If you want to look at your home buying options, give me a call, 615-498-5626. And I appreciate you watching.